Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truly on Franchising podcast. My name is Kim Sosha, and I serve as the Senior Franchise Coordinator for Truly Nolan. I'm joined, of course, by my co-host Lance Washington, our Director of Franchising and Acquisitions. Hey, Lance.
Hi, Ryan. It's great to have you on the show today, and I'm looking forward to going through this process with you.
I'm happy to be here, Lance, and I appreciate you guys having me on. This is a great opportunity, so thanks so much.
Yeah, we are excited to have Ryan Shane. Ryan is, of course, one of the owners of our one of our two Atlanta-based franchises that we have. His operation services the northern part of Atlanta, and we're excited to have you on, Ryan.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank
so
you so much.
Yeah, so today we're going to dive right into it because your journey to franchise ownership has been anything but a straight line, right? It's rather unique. And in our prior podcast, we've talked with owners who were either cold starts like Savannah, or they converted an existing franchise like our Knoxville location. But you took your journey to franchise ownership a little bit differently, right? You bought in as a co-owner for a franchise that had been up for 5+ years, and you brought a pretty successful pest control business to the table. So, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that journey, about the why you wanted to combine what was a really successful business into a Truly Nolan franchise?
Well, I definitely appreciate you considering it successful. We were getting to success, but to say we were full of it, that might be a stretch. But thank you again for the compliment. Oddly enough, and I'm probably going to be the only person that's going to be able to say this, you guys were actually not involved when I came in to make this decision. My business partner, Dave, was, for lack of a better way of saying it, he was trying to steer a partnership that just wasn't floating well. And he and I were in discussions for about a year. Just a little bit of background. Dave and I had known each other for about 10 years. He got me into the pest control industry. Uh, he was a region manager for one of the big guys, and he brought me on as one of his sales managers at one of his branches. Uh, so again, he and I were in discussions for almost a year, and then once we decided to move forward, moved forward with the buyout and the merger of our two companies, and that was in the end of 2019. It was a chance for me to work with a dear friend with similar styles of management, similar goals, and Dave had strengths where I had weaknesses, and vice versa. What was appealing was the fact that there would be a support system. In the beginning, I had the time to learn how to make contracts, how to learn Adobe products and digital design. And as we grew, that time lessened. I noticed that those things that I used to have time, they just weren't getting done anymore. Updating the contracts, making coupons, designing door hangers, creating swag to hand out. Those things were being placed on the back burner, and it was becoming a detriment to the way that I wanted to plan out our future. It was going to start costing me a considerable amount of cash to outsource these projects. And as a startup, you don't have a considerable amount of cash.
Right.
And doing that, it wasn't going to save me a considerable amount of time either. I found that there were a lot of unreliable businesses out there that dealt with this sort of thing. And coming into a franchise seemed very appealing to me simply because of the support system.
Yeah, and
Uh,
that's a great point, Ryan. I mean, the support system of a franchise network, you don't have to do all that by yourself, right? You have the powerhouse of a marketing team who can get you the creative that you need, who can spend the time doing the door hangers and the postcards and all those things that you would need to run the business.
Yep, absolutely. It started to become a no-brainer, understanding that I would be able to head out and do what I wanted to do, which was sell and grow the business. And I really saw the opportunities of coming on with you guys uh, to be able to get back into that role, and to maybe even have my life back.
wow, that's unbelievable. As you go through that process, and because you did go in a different direction, whereas normally for us as a team, we present those opportunities. So, what was the kind of yes moment for you when you made the decision, hey, I'm going to switch from being a private kind of ownership and engage in this franchise thing? What was the, like, maybe if you could frame it, the single thing that said, yes, it's time to make that move?
I think the deciding factor was Dave's, my partner, his enthusiasm. I remember asking if he would ever consider branching away from being a franchise owner because I did like the business I had rolling, and we were kind of in discussions on how we wanted to merge. Um, so when I asked him that, he answered emphatically, "Not even once." Now, at this point in time, Dave was running a second business as well, one that he started from scratch. He understood the challenges that I was going through because he was going through the same thing. Opening a business from scratch is challenging, it's time consuming, it's expensive. Franchising is worth its weight in gold. The blueprint is laid out for you. You have the abilities to redraw the lines to make it work better for your unique situation. Now, I also had to take in consideration doubling my size immediately and what that would mean for my two employees and the employees that I'd be inheriting. Now, again, keeping in mind that Dave runs another business, truly would be all mine to run on my own, minus the mutual support that we give each other. So I knew I was going to wake up in the morning and my business would automatically be doubled in size, financially from an employee and from an employee standpoint. Luckily, my previous stint with a very large pest control company made jumping in with 2 feet less intimidating. Uh, and my employees were very supportive uh, that every move that I would make would be in the company's best interest. My wife, of course, was also supportive, understanding the immediate growth and the potential for more when considering the national accounts and the name recognition. Having a name like Truly Nolan brought in an additional amount of trust. I wasn't just a startup anymore, and I wouldn't have to field that question. Uh, what are you going to do if things go south for you? I got tired of hearing that. Well, you've only been around for 3 years. Once we had that name recognition behind us, that never came up. So luckily, my business was in good shape. We had built a solid reputation online that I was able to bring with me. The Google and the other review sites that I utilized were very easy to work with. And it's easy to see how much better we're doing now versus pre-merger. And I'm happier, I'm less stressed, and I have more time with my family.
Wow, that's an awesome success story. And as the director of franchising, to the value that you bring to our organization and the input, you're one of the guys that we call on when we need support to kind of get the troops to rally in the direction that we want to go. You're instrumental in that, and we absolutely appreciate. That's why we want to try to make sure we have you inclusive in a lot of things. When we want to make those hard decisions, we want to reach out to Ryan Shane and say, "Hey, Ryan, if we were to do this, what do you think the reactions were?" Because it seems like you have a really good pulse of what's going on in our entire environment, and we really appreciate that. So, I want to take this opportunity from the team's perspective to say thank you for being who you are and how you are.
Well, I really appreciate that. The two of you can probably see I'm blushing a bit here. That's a thank you.
And thank you for taking really great pictures that I can use on social media.
I do
I
my
do.
best.
I do use Ryan's face a lot on our social media content. But
Yes.
so to bring us back around, what value do you see in a conversion franchise? So for somebody who might be out there looking to say, "Hey, I want to switch my XYZ pest control business to a Truly Nolan franchise, but I'm nervous." What kind of advice or what value would you give to them?
It was a little nerve wracking for me as well. So I know exactly where those feelings would come from because there's always a sense of unknown. Coming into Truly Nolan was far easier than I expected. So I found out quickly that the nerves that I had coming in, they weren't necessary. Once you sit down and you start to see everything that's available to you, it's actually a giant weight that's lifted off of your shoulders. I can't express how much easier things got for me. Not having to worry about design, not having to worry about my logo being updated, not having to worry about customers wondering if I'm going to be around the next day, uh, not having my wife worry about what might be happening. There were so many benefits to coming on with the support system, with the ability to gain national accounts that I was at ease within days, if even that long. within days of getting in here. Things just started to roll. They were fast. They were easy. Everything just fell into place. It was the right move.
Excellent. We love hearing that. What about your long term performance? What have you seen since you combined in the end of 2019 to now? What's kind of been happening in your business? What are some of your big successes?
From 2019, well, first things first is I've more than doubled in size. And that's not just including with the merger of the two companies. So when I merged the two based off of what I was doing, I hadn't actually reached that double size yet in the marketing. Now, at the end of 2020 or so, we had surpassed the double size and we've only grown since then. We've had a few hiccups along the way. A few of my larger accounts, they fell off, but not a single year have we shrunk. So even when those large accounts went down, we still came up and we were coming up at a faster rate than what we were doing with my previous company. And I owe that to the advertising power and the name recognition that Truly Nolan gave us.
Wow.
Awesome.
So as we head into 2024 and it's fastly approaching, uh, let's talk a little bit about how you see your planning and what changes do you think you'll make or what things you think you'll do differently now that you're a part of a bigger piece, because that's one of the things that we try to instill in our owners, that you go from being this kind of small, like little regional kind of company to basically a nationwide brand. And so 2024 is fastly approaching. What do you see in the plans for your pest control company, your piece of the pie in the Atlanta, Northern Atlanta area?
Well, I think the number one thing that we're always going to be looking at when we're going into a new year is increasing revenue. I've turned myself back into a dedicated salesperson, and
Wow.
I stay honest by doing some termite jobs and by doing some pest control starts and going out and running some extra services. Yeah, you still have to play manager here. So if there's ever anything that's going on, you get to go out, figure out the issue, help your technicians, and really be a piece of the pie. Um, Now, I'll be hiring an additional technician probably around the end of February, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. It'll help us grow, and it'll get me back into the basics, building the foundation with somebody, which is always a great refresher for me. So we're also searching for smaller businesses, or maybe just an independent route here or there to buy. And that's something that I'm looking forward to working with the acquisitions department. Something else that I wouldn't have had as a solo company. We want to see our profit margins increase. We raise the prices at the beginning of each even year, and over the past year, we've adjusted and increased our rate cards, so we're getting better money for each service now. We're also looking into the products that we're using. As products mature, generic versions come out, and that can reduce our cost per client. Now, Dave and I are going to review our initial business plans again. I hate to admit this, but it's been a while since we've done this. We're going to start working hard on our strategic planning for the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm excited to create a new plan and to renew our commitment to ourselves for growth and for the betterment of our companies. The biggest thing is, I guess, when it comes to being truly Nolan, like you said, being that national brand, Lance, the sky's the limit for us. We can go anywhere we want to, further east, further south, further north, and just continue to grow this thing. And I know I keep on going back to the name recognition thing, but it is such a powerful thing to have a name like Truly Nolan in your back pocket. The best thing about being a franchise owner is that you're still a small business, though. We do have plans on becoming a medium-sized business one day. But being a small business, we have that personal touch that clients love, but we have all of the benefits of having a larger company. Uh, Whether again it's the marketing, the ongoing training, having entomologists that we can reach out to at any point in time to ask them questions. Having you, Lance, you, Kim, the two of you are simply amazing. And the way that you help support us, I couldn't ask for anything more. And I remember saying this a few years ago when talking with somebody else that was looking into purchasing a franchise. They said, "Well, how involved is Truly Nolan?" And my answer was, "They are as involved as you want them to be." So you
Yeah,
guys aren't
absolutely.
breathing down my neck about this. You're not breathing down my neck about that. I am still completely independent, but I have you guys, and not just you guys, but we have Dr. Chris, we have Matt and Chrissy, we have Joanne, we have Bob. We're a family here, and everybody, all the other owners, they're going through the same things that I am, and we can call, we can discuss, and we can have open, honest conversations, and nobody holds back. Everybody's got their ideas, and they're all here to help you succeed, and vice versa. And we just have love for one another. I love it when we all get together annually, whether it's via online or in Nashville or Orlando, and we just get to hang out and get to know each other and talk shop. And it's just so organic, and really is just a blessing to have this type of network that you can rely on.
It's super amazing when we get this opportunity, and Kim and I get to do this, when we hear the passion that you guys have as leaders. I will give you some insight
Mm.
that as much as we support you guys and what you get from us, we get the luxury of being able to bring some of the innovative stuff that you guys create and some of those ideas where you don't have all of those levels of political levels. It really helps us be able to engage. And when we go back to our executive team and say, hey, what if we tried this because it's worked here, 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 and here? So you guys have as much impact on us from a big picture level as we do on you. So again, our thanks to you. We get to go back and talk to the executive team and talk about some of those things that you guys do that we wish we could, but we have those layers, and you guys get to be, for lack of a better term, the filters for us. So we appreciate that, and having owners like yourself who's not afraid to voice their opinions, because the great part of this whole thing is you still own your business, you still manage it, and you still put those strategic plans in place that really help us understand how to gauge business from smaller levels to bigger levels. And again, our humble appreciation for that is, you can't even imagine. I got chills now, and of course you can't see me blushing, but I am.
And we love hearing about the engagement piece, because I think sort of a lot of small businesses, they feel like they're on an island, right? You're stuck out there, you're by yourself, you have no one to
Absolutely.
talk to. And having your Bob Toledos or your Matt Ripitos, or to not only just kind of share with what's happening, but get ideas to vent to. I know that our franchise owners vent to each other about struggles for the day, right?
Right.
It's a great piece. And, sometimes they call us and talk to Lance and I at the end of the day. Lance and I have of one particular franchise who likes to do that, but it does give you kind of that outlet that you don't get.
Absolutely. And even when, and Kim, you really hit the nail on the head when you said that you're in a bubble, you're outside on your island, and you can join all the associations that you want. And of course, they're going to say that they're there for you anytime you need them, but you really don't get that camaraderie that you're going to have. When I was working with one of the larger companies, I'm going to be completely honest, I hated my life there. The corporate feel was not for me. I worked for a sales organization solely. They were not customer focused at all, and that's not who I am. But the one thing that I did have there was a camaraderie of having people that I could speak with and learn from and get advice to. You didn't have that when you're by yourself. And I have that again. And I treasure that. I treasure you guys. I treasure the other owners. I would never consider dropping the franchise. I am truly Nolan. I'm as much truly Nolan as Scarlett is. As much as you are Lance, as much as you are Kim, I am truly Nolan.
That's awesome.
We
I love it.
absolutely appreciate that. 25 years for me and 24, almost 25 for Kim. I can
Congratulations.
tell you right now, Ryan, you're a blessing in disguise, and we're so grateful to have you as a part of our team. And we would never, ever want anything to happen so that you weren't a part. So thank you again on behalf of Truly Nolan of America, and the Truly Nolan franchise and acquisition team.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, in fact, you're on our radar for multi-unit growth. So
Yes, you are.
just so you know, I mean,
Hey,
damn,
let's do it. That's my favorite G word. I love the G word.
Yep.
love it. All right, well, that kind of wraps up our time for today, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Get to hear your insight. We love it.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thanks,
Awesome. Thank you,
Ryan.
Michael.
Have a great day and go grow.
We'll do it. On it.